I need to say hello to everybody, or if I could talk smack about people, or what?
Hello, this is Kyle Precise, and I think you just heard the voice of Mr. Cab.
Yo! Shoutouts to Tech Setup. We've all been there.
Hello, hello. We got a double feature tonight. We've got KLM1187 versus Emptydubs at 10 p.m. and then probably right at the end of this race, we will have at 11 p.m. Mystery Tournament Master Andy versus precocious Mega Man 3 runner Great John.
I've heard of this Andy guy.
I hear he's
good thing.
I hear he's quite a bongo player.
Yeah. Inspiring me to dust off my old bongos here.
Yeah, so thanks to Mr. Cab for not only for sharing commentary duty tonight, but also for helping get one of our runners who's new to Mega Man 3, get him into the IRC chat, because nothing's official until RaceBot says it is.
We've all been there. Although I do need to say it again. There's always somebody who gets to this point in the tournament and they're not registered on Speedruns Live yet.
Right, if anybody is watching this who's in the tournament, look into your heart, and if you're not yet registered for Speedruns Live, don't be afraid to ask for help. Somebody will help you. But ask now. Well before your race, because that first time getting onto SRL is a bit of a doozy.
I'm gonna hop over to the other thing. I think I see what's going on now.
Absolutely Lightning 55. Yeah, Mr. Cab is your man. Wow, how does he do so many things at once? So just to let everybody know that we're totally ready to go. Otherwise, here's a quick sneak peek. Okay. Quite sneak, very peak. Yo, we got Emptydubs in the SRL IRC RN NJ NJ LOL. I think with that piece of information, it's time to fade out the Disco Dan.
But he's so good.
So good. So good. And crank up the KLM, who will be providing our audio tonight.
Does Emptydubs have a reported PB in this game yet?
So I was actually interviewing Emptydubs before this race, and he said that he'd let it stay a mystery.
Oh my.
He has nothing on the leaderboard, so...
The mystery PV.
We're going to make sure they're joined up, because everybody who's raced on SRL has had that experience where you've run a whole race and then realized you never joined, and so your time doesn't count. And in case Feasel, who's running this tournament, is watching, we don't have timers for the individual players because KLM's timer was stuttering pretty magnificently before the stream started, so we're just going to use a local timer and keep it synced as best we can.
Okay. Remind me after this. I don't know if Feasel is still a live streamer fan, but it's a little VLC plugin. It actually works pretty well for keeping, at least for 2 streams in sync. After that, things get a little hairier when you have 4 streams you're trying to sync up. But, you know.
Wouldn't you know, Mr. Cav, I am actually using that live streamer plugin through VLC as we talk. And
Nice.
Fiesel actually advised me against it.
Really?
So I'm breaking the rules.
Oh, man.
He said it might create sync problems for you and me, but we'll be good. We'll be good. We've done this We've done this basically a million times.
Believe me, it's not my first rodeo on this. And I mean, as long as we're waiting for him to ready up, you know, just general commentary notes here. After a while, you kind of get used to, I'm like 5 seconds behind this guy. I need to like be quiet for a minute and let the stream catch up. Or I know the other guy's going to see this in a couple of minutes. Sometimes, you know, people will hear me react right away because, you know, someone falls in a pit. You're just, oh no! But, you know, you just wait a couple of seconds. Let everybody else catch up. Sometimes it's funnier when you say, oh no, because then somebody actually starts paying attention for a moment.
Right, the spoilers are a double-edged sword for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we've all been there where, you know, you're in the 6th inning of a game. Things are moving along. Maybe you get distracted by something, but you know. So let's see. The Homer Simpson voice, it's my first day. Which, as I recall from him running the Atomic Sub, was followed by Es mi dia primera, which was then followed by him turning to the Antarctica Sub full of penguins and saying, quack, quack, quack.
Oh, nice. Confirmed. Emptydubs has a sense of humor. That will get you far in life.
It will. So what's going on here? We're waiting for KLM to get ready.
While we're waiting on that, let me tell you all a little bit about this KLM fella. I took some notes. On October 9th, he submitted his first time to the leaderboard.
I vaguely remember that, and I think it was a mid-40 at the time.
Oh, it was for Mega Man Legacy Collection.
That is a fine place to get your career started.
With the turbo and everything, and he was keeping track about how he had turbo runs and non-turbo runs. But that 3932 in October on Legacy Collection with turbo, now he has a 3627. He's 22nd in the world. In the span of 3 months, he went from, I'm not gonna mince words, I thought he was a scrub. But now he is way better than I am, and there's only 21 people with better times than him, and he's a top first runner, so I have massive respect for him.
Yeah. Anybody who has the drive and the passion can just pick this up and start going. And as you said, he is going top first.
Meanwhile, Emptydubs going magnet first, and I have massive respect for him as well, because a man needs to know his limitations and the context of the situation. And magnet first, if he gets good magnet RNG, it's only 4 seconds slower than a perfect top first, but he doesn't have to do some very scary things that KLM will have to do in the top first route, if he wants his route to be faster.
Now, Chelney is a huge advocate of magnet first for races, and that's pretty much why. You just avoid that RNG trap, dealing with the parachutes. You get something that's going to be much more consistent. And, I mean, we've all seen those races where they're almost tied, there's like only a 2 or 3 second difference, but it's so unlikely to actually happen. That said, Emptydubs does need to dance through these Yoko blocks properly first.
Did KLM just walk up and slowly 2-jump that cat? Those cats take 10 shots. So if you can 2-jump a cat, top first might be the route for you.
Emptydubs jumping on all 4 of those platforms for safety, but getting pulled by that little magnet in the corner. Scaring me.
Alright, so 3 cycle is the goal here with Top Man. Obviously with Hard Knuckle you want to get him in 2 cycles, but Buster it's a little harder. But I think KLM's got it. He does. What a pro. What a pro.
Nice. Emptydubs now into that magnet fight. I don't think I've counted the cycles. He's opting to not end this first magnet cycle early by crashing into it. Not a bad idea early in the fight to basically preserve a little bit of health. He does want to get 3 shots in on each cycle, though, and it looks like he's only getting 2 on a lot of these.
Right, so generally Magnet Man, he can either jump or he can shield, and if he jumps, there's nothing you can do about him, but if he shields, you can slide into him to break up his shield. But that takes 6 of your hit points, so generally, after you've taken a little damage in this stage, you can only break up 3 shields, and if you're in a race, maybe you only want to break up 2 shields because you could take a stray hit as well.
Certainly the early cycles, you might want to preserve health just in case. 'Cause if you take an extra hit by accident along the way, it's nice to have that in reserve in a race.
Oh my gosh, KLM with the he didn't finish Proto Man off in an impressive spot, but those first few volleys of shots, he was mashing well over 8 hertz, let me tell you.
Mashing is a skill. Unfortunate as it might be for some of us.
Yeah.
Oh, Emptydubs, not the bees!
Oh, so much. Slow down.
He's going. Meanwhile, KLM is up to that scary parachute screen we've been talking about.
Yeah.
One miss menu.
Ooh.
Oh, goodness.
Oh. The KLM spots Emptydubs some time there. That started off beautifully. It didn't look like he was playing anything safe.
Alright, so let's see how he handles this on attempt 2.
Rush Marine. Oh, wrong.
Oh my god.
Alright, so he babies it a little bit, but...
I mean, you almost have to
sometimes.
sometimes.
Smart decision.
And, you know, you do not want to end up in a situation in a race where you're doing the same screen time after time after time.
Yeah, I mean, I like Cindy Lauper as much as the next guy, but not in my Mega Man 3 races. Alright, Emptydubs 2 jumping the Met Dozers. That's not as easy as it looks because they take 3 hits. You can generally get about 2 shots off on a jump, and at least one of them is going to miss because their hitboxes are terrible.
Yeah, it just moves back and forth. It's kind of really awkward to hit them now and again. It looks like Emptydubs is going to reach for that E-Tank
Good
right
decision.
away.
Good decision. One hit from Proto Man wouldn't kill him, but a hit from Proto Man, and then he could get hit by the Stomper, and then he has to go way back.
Yeah, he's probably going to grab this health too if he wants to go for the fast hardman fight. Again, in a race, it's never a bad idea to get more health. If you are relatively new to a game, or if you just don't really trust it, get the extra health, because you're going to lose more time on the death than you are by running out of your way to get a few extra hit points.
Absolutely. And for those of you who are going to join me in my Buster-only attempts after this tournament, make sure you pick up 9 E-Tanks when you're first learning that category.
Nice zip for KLM.
Beautiful.
He did get the Proto Man skip to start Gemini Man stage. So there's no music, there's less lag, because go figure, music takes processing power that we could be using to, you know, render enemies and stuff.
Oh man, he just goes, he doesn't hold back, but he still gets hit by the little penguin. That's some good luck. Saving some health there.
Does get bopped by what should be a big penguin, but is a massive garbage sprites instead. And he's going top route. Here we go.
I like the decision-making process. He grabs the big health, but it's not like he's playing it safe here. Ooh, the mid-airs turn around to get the damage boost in the right direction.
He's got this. So again, if you're not used to this category, you have to wait 8 frames before you can jump out of a slide. So sliding on those blocks is not for the faint of heart.
It would have taken him less than a second to grab that E-Tank, but he doesn't need it.
That's something in a race I would say definitely grab the E-Tank, but he's going. This Gemini fight, though, there's a lot of misses.
Oh, no.
Oh, that jump over Gemini.
Oh, wow.
Oh my! Is it over?
Yeah.
Tell me it's over. Oh my goodness.
Jumping over any Robot Master, really.
It takes a lot of confidence to be able to jump over Gemini Man like that with that little health left. Wow. Meanwhile, Emptydubs using Buster on the cats, he has magnets.
Right.
They take 5 magnets.
Man, like...
Well, we'll give him the tip later.
Yeah, we gotta let him know.
He does mash them down all the same. And he is charging forward to Top Man's room.
Like, running magnet first without exploiting the magnets there on the cats is like owning a cow and never milking it.
Where's the beef? And he is making his way over to Hardman. You saw a little fun on the menu there. Mega Man 3's menu is kind of weird. If you just tap right on that first menu and you don't have a weapon directly to the right of whatever one you're on, you'll go over to the E-Tank. And more than one Mega Man runner has, used that E-Tank by accident there. Instead of switching to the hard knuckle, you have to hit down enough times to actually cycle through to it.
Ooh, KLM with the ladder grab off the slide. That's pretty tough. Ooh, and within the Dua laser, trying to hit the... What do you call it, a hedgehog or a porcupine?
I don't know what that thing is.
You gotta slide the laser above where he hit, but below the spike that comes out. It's a pretty tight window.
Mm-hmm. If you can land that shot, it's a good shot.
There's a faster way to get past that stomper, but KLM again showing that he wants to protect his health.
I mean, it's one of those things, and this is where we get into, are you watching your opponent? He might know he has maybe half a stage on Emptydubs right now, just built up over time here. And you can do things then, like, I'm going to grab this extra E-Tank, I'm going to grab this extra health, and basically lock in with basically some insurance health that, you're going to not lose that life, not lose 30 seconds.
Absolutely. That's why it was so startling to me that he went for the all-out strategy in the parachute section with the top spins in Shadow Man.
Yeah. I'm actually trying to think, does he actually have a half-stage lead?
Well, KLM is on his 5th stage, and Dubs is on his 4th stage.
Worth noting that Needleman is a very short stage, but I think it's still enough that that by itself, especially with that right there, drops kill more Mega Man than anything else in this game, I swear.
I would say KLM is actually more than half a stage ahead because he's completed Gemini, which is one of the longest stages.
Gemini and Needle kind of cancel out, that's true.
We'll know exactly where they are when they get to their 7th Robot Master and the routes intersect on Snake, unless Emptydubs is doing something creative with a different route.
And when you get to Spark and Snake last, it doesn't really matter which order you do those two in.
There's some menuing differences.
There's a few frames of menuing, yeah, but it's insignificant.
For mortals like us, it's insignificant.
Yeah, until you are counting those frames, it doesn't matter.
So KLM's going to have a much easier magnet fight. Instead of having to get 14 buster shots off, he's just going to go bang, boom, sip, paduba.
Well, with Shadow Blade, Magnet Man goes down really easily.
Thanks, Bob.
Let's see how Emptydubs handles the Gemini Man here. 'Cause this first screen of Gemini is probably one of the hardest screens to do fast. Not a very forgiving screen in general, honestly. It's just long, bumpy terrain and lots of things to get hit by.
Reminds me of a time that I was driving my car and I ended up at the beach, and it said you could drive on the beach, but I had the presence of mind to realize that I shouldn't drive my particular vehicle onto the beach. That's what Gemini Man stage is like, but you're in my car, and you're having to make the drive.
Yep.
So Emptydubs fails to jump through the stopper. That's not really there. It's an illusion. You can jump right through that stopper. And so what that means is he has to sit through a 10-second cutscene. It also means he doesn't turn off the music like KLM did. And so there's going to be more lag. Jumps will be a little weirder.
Yeah, he jumped just a little early there, which isn't that uncommon. You have to build a little bit of trust for how far onto that screen that slide's really going to go, which also means knowing how late you can slide on the screen before it. You can see he's also taking the damage boost here from the little penguins, which is not a bad idea at all.
But we do have to appreciate Emptydubs because we get to see these giant penguins in their unaltered form.
Oh, that's true. We rarely get to see the penguins. And there it is, 1-800 Armorine for all of your water traversing needs. KLM had a pretty decent hardman stage. Used those Shadow Blades early on the bees. Used it with great effect throughout the stage.
So Emptydubs started this out with full health, and he's not at full health anymore.
Get out of there.
Oh, gee.
Don't get hit. Don't get hit. Oh man, just use the tank now, man. What are you doing? Don't do it.
He's got Buster. Okay.
Don't do it.
Oh, Stomper, please.
Okay.
Stomper.
Okay.
Is he going to kill the... Nice.
That is fine.
I haven't even thought about doing that.
So, he hasn't switched or used an E-Tank. Is he just going to eat the death here? Yes. Okay. He wants to save that E-Tank now.
That was a fast
How many
death.
1-ups has he picked? I guess he checked how many lives he had left. I'm not sure if he had a second death. I mean, I know he had the one in Shadow. Shadow not being very kind to anybody today.
He's doing the oh no, he's doing Shadow Blade. Okay.
Now he's going over to the E-Tank. While KLM is starting out Snake Man stage, also known as Rush Jet the stage. He got lasered, but it's okay.
Alright, so Emptydubs is through 5 stages. So KLM is a full stage ahead of him, but that particular stage is Hardman, which is a pretty short stage. And Emptydubs has to do Needleman, which is probably the shortest stage.
So little notes about Rush Jet here. I mean, I'm sure most people here know it by now, but you never know who's watching, we gotta say. You can only have 2 shots on the screen at a time, which made that laggy room earlier a little interesting. You also only use weapon energy while you're actually riding Rush, so you're gonna see a lot of jumping off of Rush to conserve energy as much as possible here. And of course, Mega Man 3, the only game you have full control over which way Rush goes, and we use that to great effect.
Mega Man 3 Rush Jet, best Rush Jet.
It's true. So, Emptydubs again here, using Shadow Blades over Magnet Missiles in Needleman stage. I mean, he's using them well, because they do still take things out quickly. It's just a question of...
Oh my gosh, KLM with the textbook Snake Man fight. Oh, wow. That's why he's number 22, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice. Emptydubs just barely beating a needle off the top of the screen. It was coming for him.
Yeah, and jumping over a porcupine. Let's see what he does with the Stomper. Okay.
He takes care of it.
Good call.
I would say that Snake Man is a particularly sinister, slithering thing.
So isn't the whole point of a snake that a snake doesn't have legs?
Well, that's why it's Snake Man.
Okay, so he's like a centaur.
He's half snake, half... No, Centaur Man is like a centaur.
No, not
They even
Centaur
wrote a
Man.
song.
A centaur. Centaur Man would be 2/3 man and 1/3 horse.
Oh my god, KLM. What are you doing? That slide jump. Just not even waiting for it to go up at all.
Oh, with the moving platform?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emptydubs is going to join KLM in Sparkman stage.
Oh,
Although he still has to go to Snake next.
Right.
This is what I was kind of alluding to earlier. It doesn't really matter which of these two you do first.
For a moment there, I thought we were neck and neck. But you set me straight.
Finding out that magnets bounce off the floating guys. I actually did not know that. I guess because magnetism and electricity are the same, according to noted expert in the two fields, Magneto. Shoutouts to the 90s X-Men cartoon.
Shoutouts to the 2 VHSs that came with the Pizza Hut. Shoutouts to KLM's sub-18 Sparkman kill.
Yo. Poor Sparky. Good fight for KLM. Emptydubs continues his trek through Sparkman stage. He loves those Shadow Blades.
This is the second runner I've seen today who just uses Shadow Blades everywhere. And I mean, it's a good weapon to use everywhere because each Shadow Blade uses half an energy tick, so you've got 56 Shadow Blades before you have to pick up any weapon health.
I mean, it's like Metal Blades in Mega Man 2, where a lot of runners will just kind of see them and they fall in love with them. And it is a good weapon, admittedly. Just fly past them, Dubs. Just fly past them. Okay, he's going top. Okay. That screen is admittedly pretty rough, and if you are not comfortable with the speed strat in that last room of Sparkman stage, by all means, fly through it with Rush.
Shoutouts to KLM using my strat. Except, he didn't use the modified strat where you shoot the missile before you climb up the ladder.
I'm starting to really catch on to what that strat actually is. I swear, the best part of watching tournament races is finding where you can do things better yourself. So here's Doc Airman, the skull robot.
Dokuro! It was Mr. Swede the other night who explained for us, and maybe you explained the same thing, Mr. Cab, but
No, not at all.
They're called Doc robots because the Japanese, is it Dokuro means skull?
I have no idea, honestly. I am trusting in Mr. Swede.
I believe it's actually a pun.
member of the
I believe it's
family.
actually a pun in Japanese that's just lost in the translation, much to Mr. Cab and my sadness. But yes, the Doc robots are skull robots. And that was a new thing. This was the first Mega Man to feature extra content before the Wily stages.
So KLM again, much like in Snake Man stage, which you're already seeing again from Emptydubs, jumping off the top of the screen to save some lag frames, saving all that rush energy. So if he has to do it again, he could. Of course, he'd rather not. He's in the Snake section now. He has almost no health left. I would be uncomfortable if he got hit by Mr. Met again. Fortunately, he gets through. Emptydubs with some nice strats here, making sure he gets through this stage safely. Speaking of getting through things safely, KLM punching Doc Crash in the face 4 times.
Oh, that feels good.
Feels pretty good.
So, Shitch asks, is Dr. Wily the villain of Mega Man 3 the whole time, or only after the Doc Robot stages? And the answer to that question is actually Dr. Wily sends the Doc Robots out to keep Mega Man from completing his mission. Because Mega Man's mission is to go to 8 different mining planets and collect elements to fuel the peacekeeping machine, which is Gamma. and Wily runs off with those elements and sends the Doc robots out to keep Mega Man from reaching him while he turns Gamma from a peace machine into a war machine. And that's why we have to fight Gamma at the end.
I wish they had the Dr. Light cutscene a little earlier as a result of that. Because Dr. Light, when you talk to him after the Doc robots, it's just like, man, he just ran off with them.
Yeah, you really have to read the manual and the Nintendo Power issue to get the whole story.
Such were NES games. Nice kill of Doc Metal with the magnets by KLM.
Oh god, Papa, no. Don't talk about Mega Man V. Oh.
Mega Man V is a fine game and everybody should play it. It features planets. It's a great entry into the Game Boy library. And I mean, it has Mega Man 5 references because it's Mega Man 5.
I liked Tango and that was about it.
That is the only bad part of that game. Wow, this guy. KLM getting to the end of Doc Spark. He's blowing up some more blocks because those blocks are really laggy, and it looks like Emptydubs is going to join him there. And again, using Shadow Blades instead of Gemini lasers in the beginning. Now KLM is on Doc Quick. Doc Quick will body you, oh, and there it is, for a lot of damage, so you really want to get hit by the boomerangs, assuming you get hit, and honestly you want to just boost into them anyway, because you're going to get hit in that fight, in all likelihood. Using snakes, it's not that bad. The worst part of that fight is just, while there's a weapon on the screen, you can't pause to use your energy tank, so that can be troublesome. Again, Gemini, an annoying little stage. Emptydubs now. We're already talking about Game Boy Mega Man all of a sudden. Magnet Man on Game Boy is weak to metal blades. Metal Man weak to magnet missiles. I don't know what's up with that. Someone has to explain this to me. Come on, Capcom. Still there, Kyle?
Oh, yes.
Okay, just check.
I was waiting to see if KLM would die. But he didn't.
This guy.
First screen of Doc Gemini. If you tune in to a practicing Mega Man speedrunner, a Mega Man 3 speedrunner, if you tune into their stream randomly, there's a good chance they'll be practicing Doc Gemini. First screen.
So Emptydubs having a little bit of trouble, or maybe not so much trouble as he's not going for despawning those lightning bolt electric fields. Despawning them is just really good. Saves a whole bunch of lag and health. As KLM makes short work of Doc Flash.
KLM's going to go for a very, unless he babies this because he has the lead, he's going to go for a very exciting strat. Emptydubs, meanwhile, fighting for Quick Man. I'm not sure what to tell you, what to watch.
He's getting bodied a little bit. Oh, look out!
KLM gets a big old drop on the spikes, which, if it doesn't cut into his iframes, it makes it feel like it's cutting into his iframes. And I only saw him do one slide at a time over the spikes, whereas in the fastest strat, you're doing multiple slides on the spikes in one set of iframes.
KLM, I think, definitely took an extra D-boost somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And Emptydubs really was making me clench for a minute there. There was no life left on the table. If he was a little further to the right, if something went a little bit wrong, he was going to get bodied and have to do that fight all over again. He didn't reach for the E-Tank that I'm pretty sure he has, proving once again, fortune favors the bold.
Did you ever... Okay, so he's got one extra life.
KLM taking care of Doc Bubble.
So we had worried earlier how many lives Emptydubs had. He's got one extra life.
So that rush coil on that screen, like I've been running into the same problem he just ran into, where Rush just doesn't despawn right away. And what I'm starting to notice here in the tournament is you spawn Rush into the wall.
Right.
To make it work. So did he get it?
Did KLM get the music despawn?
I think he got it.
Yes.
See, I'm watching the streams muted on my own end. So the thing with the music despawn is you'll hear the depth sound if you're listening to their game sound. And if you're not, you're just kind of, did he get it? Waiting to see if he's moving slightly faster.
The worst thing is when you're playing with your own game sound off and you're not sure if you got it. And you're making these jumps, which have slightly different timings with the music on or off.
And you gotta fix your own game sound. Emptydubs is in the middle of the screen here. I mean, part of jumping off the top of the screen is you're getting rid of Mega Man's sprite from the screen, which lets, well, it reduces lag. Looks like he was going for a weapon drop there. He's got it. This is a little bit of an adventure while KLM goes for Mega Man 3's own good wood. He's got it. So actually an interesting thing, we didn't really talk about it much, the screen wrap properties of RushJet here, and I'm sure you've either heard about it or will hear about it again, but as part of that, you can actually collect the weapon drops at the bottom of the screen if you're worried about weapon energy. Oh, Mr. Bat!
Oh, Emptydubs should not be using snakes. He should be using...
You can use snakes, but you can't be afraid
Blade.
of the E-Tank. You can't be afraid of the of using that E-Tank there. And, I mean, the bigger problem here is because he wasn't really jumping a lot on Rush, he does not have a lot of Rush weapon energy left.
Right. The nice thing about the speedrun strats is if you do have to do this screen again, at least you have a lot of RushJet energy and you don't have to farm. Well, he doesn't have to farm, but he did have to pick up some energy along the way. This is a good time to plug our world record holder's 3-part tutorial that he just made, because if Emptydubs takes some time to watch that, he will learn. He will learn the mysteries of RushJet and jumping off the top of the screen.
So at 2840, KLM can slam the spacebar on his Brickman split.
Nice. I guess that feels good. Never had the experience
Feels good
myself.
to be in the Wily stages.
I like to have the experience of not having to do anything for a full 30 seconds or so instead of having to worry about a split.
The giant Met giving him a weapon drop. He's gonna go to Shadow Blades here.
Good.
Nah. I mean, the problem now is he's trying to shoot these guys, and the shots are going a little wild.
So, yeah, Emptydubs, you want to go watch Fastest tutorial, learn how to do everything, and then watch mine and learn how to use Shadow Blades for this section.
One lemon, I love it! He's using neither strat to finish off.
Nice.
You know, KLM is sliding across some spikes in Wily 1. I mean, Doc Crash is relatively trivial, so I want to see what KLM's up to here in Dr. Wily's castle.
So what KLM was trying to do there was to menu and swap to magnets and fall onto the ground and then jump onto the ladder after falling onto the ground, because that's faster than just climbing off the ladder. And when you come out of the menu, you automatically fall off the ladder. But he had the spirit of that without the actual execution of it.
KLM making use of RushJet to skip the mini Yoku block section.
And now we pray to God Turtles. Pray for God Turtles.
Let's go, Kamegoro.
Oh, jump higher.
Not jumping high enough. He's not on top of things.
No. He needs to put more spin on it.
So these always come out left, right, left. No, I think left, right, left, right.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that last one. I don't think that was too bad. It
No,
pretty
it felt
average.
about average. Yeah, they can come out slower than that, or they can come out faster than that. But they always come out that direction, so you can at least prepare for that.
Can't say I've seen RushJet on the first screen of Doc Gemini before.
He's not going to die.
He's not going to die, that's true. I mean, RushJet, for all it is a little bit of a safe strat, it's not a bad strat. The worst thing about it is that you have extra lag on the screen, honestly.
Yeah, in Rush Marine you might die.
Fact,
but in RushJet you're probably not going to die.
yeah. KLM making a good use of Rush here. Makes that jump. And now we pray for mashing. I forget what we are today. I think we're I think we're 2 out of 4. We're batting 500 on the Yellow Devil.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Might be a little far to the right there. I think he'll be okay, though. There we go. Tap left to get knocked back. Ooh.
Yeah, KLM's a master.
So easy.
Last time we talked about this, he said he'd got it in 7 straight runs.
So easy. So yes, getting the 1 cycle saves about 17, 18 seconds on the 2 cycle.
Ring,
1-800
ring,
Marine
ring.
for Emptydubs. I mean, he did already use Rush Jet earlier in the stage, so this is probably the better option in general here. And I think it's been said by Chelney that Rush Marine is probably less sprites than
Right.
Rush Jet. So if you're going to go to Rush there, it's not a bad idea to break out the Marine. The only problem over Jet is that you already have to use something to make that first jump in this section.
And you can
So-
you can jump in Rush Marine, but you have to be in water at some point.
Yeah, you can't jump that high either, so you would have to switch to a second rush item.
Right.
KLM, oh my god, it's so easy. Now, I might be belittling by saying it's so easy, it's too easy to do that. That rush coil jump might not be the easiest thing in the world, but it's worth noting once you're up there, even if you can't get that pause off, just hit him with topspin directly.
Or
You'll still
snakes.
kill him.
Or snakes. Snakes are good.
Snakes work just fine too. He's always on top to start. Getting up top is probably the hardest part of the whole thing.
Oh gosh, look at that junk golem mashing.
So how short are the Wily stages compared to the Doc Robot stages? KLM was in Wily 1 when Emptydubs started his last Doc Robot stage. He's now in Wily 4. Emptydubs, that's not how the music despawn
No,
works.
it's not.
I don't think he was going for it, but he just pushed left a little too soon.
Yeah, if he doesn't know about the music despawn, he'll be so happy to learn that you can bump into the spikes and not die.
Yeah, the music despawn here in Doc Shadow is actually there's a couple of relatively free strats. Just takes a little bit of practice to figure them out. But I would highly recommend anybody who's running this game to just pick it up. It's so much fun.
Yeah, that music despawn is fairly safe, and if you do either setup right, it's 100% safe. There's another music despawn you might see players do in Doc Spark, and that one
That
is
is
not one you want to
opposite.
mess around with until you got a 34. And
KLM.
only 9 people in the world have a 34 or a 33, so
So a couple of things we just missed here. Emptydubs was jumping off the top of the screen of Doc Shadow in the dark section. So I mean, you just got to apply those skills to Doc Needle.
oh,
Just
so he
do it.
does know about jumping off the top of the screen.
It works very well there,
Nice.
actually. It makes that section so much easier. KLM did run out of magnets against Hardman, and we actually got to see Hardman get killed by a hard knuckle.
Can't you soft lock the game by doing that? Yes, you can. I hope
I've heard
KLM
legend.
knows that. Or if you can't soft lock the game, you can at least get frozen, just as you can with Top Man in the refights. If you're too close to Hard Man, when you throw that last knuckle, you get frozen for 3 or 4 seconds.
Well, that's not that big a concern for him.
No. But there is
He
a
is
way
through.
to soft lock in the Hard Man refight and in the Gemini Man fight and refight.
The Gemini Man softlock is one I've unfortunately seen on real newcomer like blind race streams now and again, which is always funny. It was actually a 1 through 6 race between Domalix and Big John, and Domalix got the softlock. This KLM just destroys the poor Pinbot.
Beautiful, beautiful. Did he even throw lag snakes?
He did.
Okay.
They were. When do they fight Bowser? Probably when they advance to Smash Brothers. So what will we see first? KLM's Wily split or Emptydubs Breakman split?
Well, that depends on if Emptydubs has a Breakman split.
Everybody has a Breakman split. I don't know what you're talking about.
But if he had a Breakman split, then he got it a little bit before KLM.
RaceBot is telling us that took KLM 37 minutes and 9 seconds, which, at least as far as RaceBot knows, is an 11-second PB.
Way to go, KLM.
Checking in here. You're right, KLM has a 36 on the board, so certainly not a true PB, but hey, race PB. Especially getting that close is not bad at all.
And so just as KLM finishes up the game, Emptydubs starts the Wily stages. Taking Mr. Cab's advice, grabbing every E-Tank.
That E-Tank, I think, is probably the first one you could actually start dropping.
Yeah.
Unless you have none. If you have none, then it's an easy grab.
Yeah, because
Wily
you can
stages,
get 2 pretty freely in Wily 2, and then there's 1 in Wily 3. The dock stages are rough. There's only 1 E-Tank in all of the dock stages in that dock needle stage.
Yeah. You really only get 4 E-Tanks in the game, counting that dock needle E-Tank before the Wily stages. And then the Wily stages, you are just showered with them. It's like the game designers kind of realized, oh, we've got to meet our E-Tank quota here. Where are we going to put them all? Throw them all in Wily 2. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. So, the Wily stages, though, are usually short and easy enough. You don't need them that much. I mean, they're worth grabbing for safety, definitely. But even there, you saw by going on that top Yoku block route, Emptydubs was able to pick 2 large health drops to basically refill. Going with Buster shots on the Kames here. Kind of interesting that he's not using Shadow Blades or Top Spin. I mean, Shadow Blades can be tricky to aim at that speed, admittedly, and Top Spin you might not be completely comfortable with using. But, hey, Buster shots, why not? So this was a Group K match, if I'm reading the bracket correctly. This was the second match in Group K. So this will give KLM a win to stay on equal footing with Almond City.
Nice job, KLM.
Other members of this group, INF5MK, a name I remember from last year's Mega Man 2 tournament. He had the loss to Almond earlier. Hopefully he can pick that back up later. Lightning55, the 5th member of this group, lying in wait, waiting for his opportunity.
Mr. Cab, if it's alright, I'm going to let you handle this solo for a while I make sure the next race is ready to go right after this one.
Sounds like a plan. I am seeing the first block fly onto the screen now. I'm not sure how far ahead or behind I am.
You are about 3 seconds ahead.
3 seconds ahead? Okay. Well, we'll see how Emptydubs handles the easy double here. Even if you can't get the easy double, and it looks like he's not getting the setup quite right, he can hopefully get a decent amount of damage in. He's got Yellow Devil about halfway down. So the main thing that makes this work is you can stand inside the Yellow Devil while he's forming up. You don't want to hit the block, so he doesn't want to get bodied too much here. He's not throwing them diagonally. This could be trouble right now. Use the E-Tank. Use the E-Tank. Oh my goodness. Oh, fortune favors the bold once again. I don't know I would have recommended that, but Emptydubs has somehow survived and is into Wily 3. Hopefully we get to hear the good Wily 3 music on stream. He's gonna go on the right path. I'm trying to remember what's even over here. guess it's just free passage up that ladder instead of having to figure out how to get past the shower machine. Again, grabbing that E-tank. Coming up ahead here. He's going to get into the dark section. It's not much. Really, the rest of this stage is just an exercise in dodging enemies. The stage is nothing really complicated or long in it. Now he's choosing to take the top route here. I think the main reason you actually want to take that bottom route is actually to collect those drops just to get them off the screen. They are what is lagging the game there. Ooh, he's taking that hit from the hopper. So he should be okay. Even with health being this dicey, he should be able to take out the Mega Man clones before anything dangerous happens. He just has to make this first jump. I think he's thinking about it. Looks like he's making sure he actually is on Rush Coil. Let's see if he can get it. He's going to have to dodge something. And he survives the hit, but now he doesn't know where the clone is going to despawn. I've heard things like he's the only one that actually you see beam in, so he should be on the bottom. Nice! Actually, that was actually a reasonable recovery, and that shows you how strong the snakes actually are against the Mega Man clones. He was shooting all over the place and still managed to get off enough snakes to get the kill in. Alright, so Wily 4. And these first few screens are just get through them as fast as you can. Sometimes it's good to take out the fake Gutsmen just to try and preserve a little health, maybe get rid of the lag while you otherwise get through. And whatever gets you through fast, just do it. Get to the refights. And he's gonna actually, looks like he's going to start with Needleman. Most players will start with Snake Man, so we'll be curious to see what his route is. Nadua! After that first shot, looks like he's going to have an easy time here. And he is going to go to Gemini second while he still has the laser out. I mean, the main reason you take this route through the refights is to try and avoid weapon switching, but obviously he just switched to Snake. Now, Snake's still a fine choice for Gemini. Nothing wrong with it. Arguably easier to kill Gemini with snakes than with his own weapon. He's going to actually use Sparks on Magnet here. I mean, if he had Shadow Blades, he could have shot straight up there, but Sparks still take care of Magnet Man very quickly. So nothing really wrong with that. We're going to go to Hardman next. I mean, really it doesn't matter what order you take out the Robot Masters. Some things you save a little bit of time just moving around the room, save a little bit of menu time. I mean, as long as you take out the Robot Masters efficiently, though, you've gotten most of the time you're looking for here. Again, he seems to want to open this fight with Buster Shots. I think he's just a little nervous about shooting that hard knuckle across the screen. You can usually get one of them in. The trick might be that as you're dodging the tops, you're sliding under them, you're also holding down, which will cause that hard knuckle to angle down a little bit. Emptydubs getting some very deliberate hits with topspin on. The core problem most people will run into, if you have iframes and you're jumping through Shadow Man and topspin hits basically every frame, you're going to run out of topspin very fast. So you have to be careful with it, and really anything that gets you through the Shadow Man fight early on, with you still having topspin and Shadow Man having no hit points left, is a good strategy. So nothing wrong with that. And so he goes to Snake Man last. Plenty of health. I mean, Snake Man is probably the most dangerous refight from the perspective of health by itself. So there's nothing wrong with doing it last. Doing it first I still think is kind of scary, even though I know it's the speed strat. it's one of those things where even if you have a hard time there, you might want to vary where you go. It looks like he switched to Spark there just to avoid having to sit through refills. And the only problem is, I think it's been said, the time it takes to collect all those refills with whatever weapon you happen to have out, it's still not enough to warrant switching weapons. Really, you just want to collect those drops just to reduce lag. Yeah, I don't think those first Buster Shots save anything, so here's a strat I'm not sure we've actually seen in the tournament yet. Well, this one I don't think I've seen. That's interesting. So you use Spark on the cannon, which you can do. It works very well, actually. Usually you see Spark and then Rush Jet. I don't think I've actually seen a hard knuckle strat on the Pinbot here. It looks like it works pretty well if you know you can angle it up. I didn't even know that did a lot of damage to him. So I guess the Pinbot's just weak to everything. Either way, Emptydubs moving into the final fight here. So he is not going to use Shadow Blades for Phase 1. He's going to jump up here, and I think he's about to pull out the Hard Knuckles. No, he's going to use the Shadow Blades from the top shelf here. It's interesting. So you can certainly do that. I know Hard Knuckles do work here. That was a strat I used way back when. He's going to try and jump through, not get iframes first and just crash through, but he doesn't stay inside Wily's hitbox long enough to do it. He needs one more shot of something. He's going to go back to top, and he gets denied by Gamma. One more time up here. Can he do it? There we go. Down goes Wily. RaceBot reporting a 49.07 for Emptydubs. The first known time we have for him.
Sub 50, pretty good for a first known time. Well, GG's to KLM, GG's to Emptydubs, and thanks, Mr. Cap, for finishing that up.
Yeah, not a problem.
We are going.
Shoutouts.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, shoutouts to IBN Computing.
We are going to get this over to the Andy versus Great John race. It should be a very tight race as their PBs are about a minute and a half apart. Both sub 40 runners. Really looking forward to that. We're going to send it over to Disco Dan for one song while we make that transition. And we'll get that race started in just about 5 minutes. Sound good, Mr. Cap?
Sounds great.